Yo, what's going on, guys? My name's Sinister Skater. Welcome back to the channel, and welcome to Best to Worst episode number 3 for Call of Duty Modern Warfare. We'll be going over the assault rifles. We're going to be ranking each of the 8 assault rifles in multiplayer, so I got Platinum Camo on every single one of them. I got tons of experience with each of the weapons. I want to go over the pros and the cons with you if you're just getting into the game or haven't used the AR set, just so you can get an idea of, what's really good, what's really bad, what are the things you should avoid, etc, etc. Now, I haven't gotten Plat on the Ram 7 yet, which is the new DLC weapon, if you will, as part of Season 1, but I will be ranking the Ram with my first impressions at the very end once we get that full launch list going. So as always, be sure to comment your own best to worst list down below in the comments if you disagree with mine. Leave your best AR, worst AR, whatever you feel most comfortable with and whatever you have the time for, because it's always fun seeing everybody's different lists. If you like this series, be sure to subscribe because we'll be doing plenty more. We still have like half of the weapon classes to go, and hit a like if you guys do enjoy it. But with that said, let's start off with the best assault rifle in Modern Warfare, which hands down is going to the M4A1. Everyone talks about this. Everyone's been saying it's OP. This thing has a fast time to kill. It has no recoil. It's super easy to use. It's just an all-around great assault rifle. It's like everything about it is just good. There's nothing bad to talk about this weapon. But I think what makes the M4 stand out among all the other assault rifles is that it has so many different configurations. You can configure it into the M16. You can configure it into like the close quarters combat M4. I think they have a built-in suppression stock that'll be like the Honey Badger from Ghost if you want to stay off the radar. They have like close quarters combat stock. You can convert the ammo into all different types of calibers. It is truly versatile and is just good hands down itself. I highly recommend you try it out. It's really the only assault rifle you need in this game because it's so much better than everything else. M4A1, best assault rifle in the game, hands down. At number 2, the second best assault rifle on my list is going to be the Odin. The Odin is amazing. It is a 2-shot kill at pretty much every single range. Even at some of the farthest ranges, it feels like the Odin outdamages some of the marksman rifles in this game. It has a slower rate of fire, so if you do actually miss a shot with this weapon, it can be crucial to your time to kill. I personally like the semi-auto fire rate because it seems easier to manage the recoil like that, and my trigger finger is pretty dang close to the actual full auto fire rate of the weapon, so I'm not really missing out on much. But again, once you master the recoil on this, the weapon is hands down a beast. And also notable mention I want to throw out about the weapon is it surprisingly has good hipfire accuracy. I think I have a clip to throw up on the screen right now, but I was being aggressive playing shoot house and trying to hipfire everyone. I was doing surprisingly well with the Odin, which is a little hidden secret I think not many people know about the weapon. So Odin, again, great long range, high damage assault rifle. Highly recommend it. Let's move on to number 3, which is going to be the Kilo 141, third best assault rifle. The Kilo is pretty much a toned down M4. It has all the perks the M4 has. It's just a little worse in my opinion. It has a little bit more recoil, makes it a little bit harder to use, but not much. It has less configurations, which makes it less versatile. But when it comes down to it, it's a full auto assault rifle. It's the first assault rifle you get, so you have a good one to use right off the bat. Don't think that it's bad because it's the first one you get. It's actually really good. Definitely try it out. Fourth best on this list, we have the AK-47, which was absolute trash in the beta. If you thought the AK-47 is trash, you've been avoiding it like I have been because it was bad in the beta. That's not the case. Now it's actually really good. I feel like they actually swapped the beta stats with one of the worst assault rifle on this list, actually, with the AK-47 stats. More on that later. The good thing about this weapon is that it has high damage even at the longest ranges, which is what makes it stand out among some of the others. Its recoil is very manageable. I think the downside to the weapon is its slow handling. It has slow aim down sight speed, slow sprint to fire, etc. It makes the playstyle with this weapon kind of sluggish, but it does have a variety of attachments to turn it into a bunch of different variants like the RPK LMG or the AK-74U, which could help with the aim down sight speed and then weapon handling, things like that. My thoughts though is that the AK-74U, it fixes the sluggish issue, but the damage and recoil take hits, so it's kind of like a give-take thing. It's not my favorite configuration, but it's still very usable. It's solid, it's reliable, and it is the last of the good assault rifles on this best to worst list that I would recommend using in any situations. The remaining assault rifles are kinda and then some of them are like straight up garbage. I wouldn't recommend them. But just to be clear, M4 best one, Odin, Kilo, AK-47, really good. Highly recommend to use them. At number 5, on the best to worst list is going to be the FFR 5.56, aka the FAMAS. The FFR is a 3-burst assault rifle. It was an absolute beast in the beta. Now it doesn't feel as good as it once did, or feel as good as some of the other options that you have in the assault rifle class. You can one burst with the FFAR. It does happen very frequently. The burst rate is also super fast. It's easy to handle. It has low recoil. It seems like it's a really good weapon at times. When you're hitting all those one bursts and rapidly killing people, you feel absolutely amazing. But it also feels really inconsistent, which is super frustrating. I don't know if there's some wonky, like, micro recoil stuff going on with this, or if the damage drop off is super severe, but I feel like I can do super well with this weapon and then do super crap the next game, or even within the same game, which is why it is in the middle of this best to worst list. If I want range, I think the Odin is going to be your go-to, or if you want some close quarters combat mid-range stuff, the Kilo or the M4 is going to be your go-to. It just doesn't compete with those assault rifles or blend their strengths into something that I would recommend using over the top 4 in this list, if that makes sense. At number 6 on the best to worst list, the 6th best weapon, or what is this, the 3rd worst weapon, it's going to go to the FN Scar 17. We're getting to the bottom of the barrel here. Initially, I had the Scar at worst for a long time when I was trying to rank these things, but after thinking more about it, I think it is a little bit better than the worst two. The positives of the Scar is that it has good damage and a decent time to kill when you're hitting your 3 shots. The negatives with the Scar, though, is that it has way too much recoil, it has slow handling, and it has a super low ammo count of 20 in the mag. All these combined make this thing so frustrating to use. The recoil is the most troublesome thing in my opinion. For me, the only configuration I found the Scar to be usable in is when you put on all the recoil stability attachments. This makes it easy to hit your shots, makes it a high-powered killing machine, but doing this makes your handling so slow and you're still stuck with 20 in the mag. But if you adjust your playstyle for that, you can put in some work with the slow but accurate kind of configuration. Honestly, the Odin does everything that the Scar does and does it better, but it still could be, actually I probably wouldn't recommend using it. It's not as bad as the other weapons on this list though. Second worst weapon on this list, number 7 on the best to worst list, is going to the M13, another rifle where my judgment was initially skewed because it was really good in the beta, but now it stinks. The M13 has one configuration that I would call usable, and that is its SMG configuration, where you use the shorter barrel, like no stock, etc, etc. Kind of makes it look like the MX9 from Black Ops 4. This version of the M4 performs pretty well in close quarters combat and in ground war. The only reason I say ground war is that it may have better range than some of the other SMGs if you're crazy enough to use an SMG in ground war. But outside of that, the M13 sucks. Honestly, I've come down to say it sucks. The time to kill is horrid. It's mostly due to its severe range drop off. Mid-range and on, you're getting hit marker after hit marker. It has deceivingly high recoil. I think I spent the most time with this weapon trying to get gameplay with it and trying to feel the strengths of it because I wanted it to be good, because I liked it in the beta, but it's just not a good weapon. I've come to that conclusion. There's much better options. It actually dropped it under the Scar at the last minute because of just some of the PTSD flashbacks and thinking of how much I struggled with the weapon. And then once I figured that gold Scar combo, I was not struggling as much with that. So M13, I just wouldn't recommend it. Just like I wouldn't recommend the worst assault rifle that we have on the best to worst list. It's the last one we haven't talked about. It is the FAL, a semi-auto assault rifle. And, you know, I'm usually a fan of semi-autos, but just statistically, the FAL is bad and outclassed by a lot of things. It has a good fire rate. It's easy to manage. It's not frustrating to use. It's just the time to kill isn't the best. There's so many other options in the weapon class of the assault rifles and in other classes that put the FAL to shame. You can't one-shot headshot with the FAL. The EBR-14 and the Dragunov can in other weapon classes, and they're kind of statistically the same outside the damage range range, of course. I mean, the feel of it is pretty much the same. It takes a minimum 2 shots to kill with the FAL. The Odin can 2-shot kill faster and at longer ranges. Just the time to kill at all the ranges of these 3 weapons I just mentioned are better. The FAL is outclassed in every way. I really see no reason to use it outside of challenges, which is why it's worst on the best to worst list. So that wraps up the launch weapons, but hey, I told you I'm going to rank the Ram 7, so let's do that. The Ram 7, man, this gun is really good. As of about Christmas time, which is when I'm making this video, the Ram 7 is really good. I would place it in front of or behind the Odin, meaning it is 2nd or 3rd best on the official list. It's not better than the M4. I think the M4 still has much more going for it. I'm not sure if it's good enough to dethrone the gameplay options that the Odin offers, or I'm not sure if it's 2nd or 3rd, but the Ram 7 has literally no recoil. It has really quick handling and quick aim down sights, which is the real positive about it. Quicker than all the other assault rifles in this on its own. The only thing it falls flat on is its range, which is why I wouldn't call it better than the M4. But yeah, I think the gameplay you're seeing of the Ram 7, I'll play it throughout the remainder of this video. It speaks for itself. Make sure you unlock it during season 1. It's like tier 30 or something like that. It's a really good weapon, and I highly recommend you use it. So yeah, that's the best to worst assault rifles list. Let me know what you guys' own lists are down below in the comments. Do you agree with mine? Do you disagree with mine? If you do disagree, leave your own list. Leave your best gun, worst gun, whatever you feel like leaving. But yeah, I think the next episode will be the submachine guns, which may be a little bit longer to come out because I still have quite some progress to make on that. So in the meantime, if you missed any of the other best to worst lists, I'll have them linked in the description, so make sure you go check those out. Or if you like the series, I mean, all my other content isn't too different, so make sure you subscribe so you're getting your fill of cool content. And make sure you hit that like button if you guys did enjoy the video, because that just shows that you enjoyed the video, and it's just a click, so go ahead and do it. Yeah, that's it for this video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. As always, my name is Platinum Skater. Be sure to also check the links down below in the description for 10% off Control Freaks, as well as cool in-name apparel. Also, my Amazon and socials link down there if you want to shop that link and help support the channel that way. But again, thanks for watching, guys. My name is Platinum Skater. I'll catch you guys on the next video. Peace out.